that mochaccino baby on the back of the bus. If you close your eyes and listen, she would be one of us. Never did trust her family at home, so she kicked it in the hood, raised herself on her own. She talked with that tone, but she white to the bone. You would swear she was black if you spoke.
Hey everybody, welcome back to MT Talk. I'm your host, Muhammad.
And I'm Takesha, and we're MT Talk.
Today we're talking about a very touchy subject.
Interracial dating.
Yes, interracial dating. Now, I've heard a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this. You know, that I would never date outside my race, and that, you know, it's wrong. People shouldn't do it. And I've also heard people who are very free with it.
True.
I've also heard a lot of women complain that, you know, that people or quote white women are taking all our good men. So that's another myth that's out there about interracial dating. But we're going to discuss that today and see how, you know, our opinions on it, and also see what you think about it.
What do you think? Exactly.
Takesha, what's your opinion on interracial dating?
Well, we all know that I am very opinionated, and I personally, terrible. I personally and my family do have people of different descents. I do have Caucasian cousins that are married to my black cousins. Actually, it's a female. It's a female black cousin that's married to a white male. And they've actually been married for a very long time. Not only have they been married, but he comes around the family, and he fits right in. Now, he's not one of the so-called act like black people, but he is who he is, but he feels comfortable around people. Obviously, he married a black woman. Now, I am not as liberal. I do believe that who you fall in love with is who you fall in love with, but I know that my sisters are out there, and they're beautiful, and they're worthy of having the few good black men that we have left. So I don't see any reason for a man to go anywhere when he has such a selection of black women he can go to.
Good point. I've heard from a lot of brothers that, you know, the sisters have the attitude, the sisters, you know, they're not as giving, you know, they downplay the man. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, us brothers have a problem with. Now, me, for myself, I've been raised around black women. I know black women, so I have no problem with that. I understand where they're coming from. I understand the history and where that hurt's coming from. And the lack of us doing our part in a lot of situations has created an atmosphere where there is some anger there and some distrust, and a lot of things that are there because of the fact that...
Because of the lack of respect that a lot of black women often feel from black men. Because a lot of times in our communities, we're good enough to bear their children, but we're not good enough to have them hold our hearts and keep their hearts with a ring. We're not good enough to marry, but we're good enough to sleep with. And that's an epidemic. Men, you have to start treating these women with respect. And women, you have to start trusting these men.
With that said, though, I don't think that these, quote, white women who date black men are getting any better men. They're getting the same guy. They're going to run into the same thugs.
I don't know about that. I've ran into some couples that this man did a black woman terribly wrong, but he ate out of that white woman's hand. So a lot of times, and that's what's upsetting to a lot of black women, is they treat black women with such disrespect, but yet they respect these white women because of the fact that they're white. You
brought up a good point. And again, sometimes race is really not the issue, but sometimes there's a lot of other dynamics that play a big part in that. Okay, did this woman, how was she in the relationship? Could it have been the fact that it just so happened that him and that white woman clicked better than the black woman?
Like they had more similar interests?
More similar interests, more in common?
I doubt it. What can you have more in common with the white woman than you can with the black woman?
Well, it all depends on where you come from, how you've been raised. A lot of those factors, I think, play a part. But on that note, at the same time, I do believe that one of the biggest problems with African American men and African American women getting together is the social history that exists between us.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the history,
it's played a big problem in our history.
Right. Slavery,
being able to trust.
and a lot of other things have implemented a bad way of us relating to each other.
Absolutely.
and self-hatred with each other.
Yeah.
That has caused a big disconnect between male and female relationships in the black community.
True.
So
well, with that, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just wanted to get to this really vivid point because I know all the ladies want to know. Since we're talking about interracial dating, would you date outside your race?
Well, yes, I would. If I believe, true love it doesn't have any color, and I believe the human family is one. Now, am I looking to date outside my race? No. I feel that I have more in common, and also because of the social climate, I feel it's my duty to marry somebody of my own ethnic background because they will understand my struggle, they will understand where I'm coming from, and with that connect, to me, that's a very important connect. I wouldn't want to be around the family and we're talking about, say, slavery, or we're talking about some other things, and they're not able to understand those issues.
Yeah, wouldn't be able to go with that one at all.
Right.
But with that being said, that's a really interesting statement that you made, and I'm sure a lot of our African American brothers do agree and think the same way. We want to know, what do you think? Interracial dating, will you do it? Are you going to stick with your own kind, or will you go somewhere else?
That's right.
Post your blogs, comments, videos. We want to know.
We want to know. Thank you.
Excused.
Got that mochaccino baby on the back of the bus. If you close your eyes and listen, she would be one of us. Never did trust her family at home, so she kicked it in the hood, raised herself on her own. She talked with that tone, but she white to the bone. You was